told this program is also live on Rave FM. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Celestian. That's the chief engineer.
Mr. Governor of the State of Osun, the Deputy Governor, representative of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, State of Osun House of Assembly, the Chairman of the greatest party in Nigeria, the All Progressive Congress, and his Deputy, Alhaji Adesiji. Permit me to stand on all other protocols as established by the Masters of Ceremony here this evening, as I go on to read the welcome speech. Mr. Governor, permit me to use you as a point of contact in welcoming all, including the home audience, to this very effective feedback system program of your government. Ogbeni till Daybreak is peculiar because it is perhaps the only of its type which comes up in such long hours, 6 hours, and held in the night. It has been an avenue by which direct interaction between the governor and his people held. Indeed, it is the unhindered, uncensored, and unrestricted atmosphere that is deliberately engendered between the people and their governor. The other peculiarity in the program is the fact that it holds when people are free and relaxed, either as members of the audience here, as we have here this evening, or as watchers or listeners live on radio and television at home. It is one program that runs for 6 hours at a stretch and provides ample chance for participation by as many people as possible. Mr. Governor, Ogbeni till Daybreak will go down in history as one of your unusualness of your administration. It is not a surprise, as your good self had declared ab initio that you will be running government unusual, and that being the case in the last 7.5 years. It is heartwarming to note that the manifestation of the unusualness of your government started quite early, as 20 youths were engaged in voluntary service to their fatherland. It was a feat without history and record. The youths who went through 3 weeks camping were subjected to reorientation that has made them to become a useful and better citizen of our society. Today, many states have attempted copying the OES program, and indeed, the federal government of Nigeria under General Muhammadu Buhari has made it a key point of his administration in mobilizing the youth. The international community has commended the OES program. May I remind this audience the fact that it was Mr. Governor's unusual style of that repackaged the school meal program, tagged home meal, which attracted many states in the country, and indeed the Buhari administration. It was your unusual way of doing things that brought about the appointment, and that has earned UNESCO accolades and recommendation as a worthy tool of learning and teaching. It was your unusualness that turned around the poultry industry in the state and has churned out many millionaires and make Osun the leading state in poultry farming in the country. It being your ingenuity in unusualness, that security of lives and property has been acknowledged and hand most secure, the hand of the most secure state in Nigeria. It was your unusualness that revolutionized the education industry to the extent that key stakeholders have commended your education policy and in reality has made exodus of pupils from private schools to public schools. There are too many things to be counted as part and part of your unusualness. Indeed, the future is assured for the state of Osun because of the unusual things which you have done in the state. Cumulatively, the result of the policies, programs, and projects encapsulated in the 6-point integral action program by which you earn the mandate of the people of the state is the result of what we are seeing today. It is on this note that I give kudos to you as a man of honor and unusualness who has taken us to the world stage and the limelight. Indeed, Mr. Governor, you have taken Osun from obscurity to near greatness, and I know the people are grateful for this. And that is the reason, everywhere you go, they sing to you, Ibi o ba lọ, là ń lọ, àwa ò ní padà o, Ibi o ba lọ, là ń lọ. And I know that in another 200 days, when you are going to step down as the governor of the state, definitely, that song will take thunderous path, and indeed, you will earn your place as a hero of the people of the state of Osun. It is on this note that I welcome my colleagues, especially to this program, which is purely their purview, and indeed, which is the reason why we are here. I believe that today is not a speech making, and indeed, speech is not part and parcel of what we are here to do. It is for the journalists, for the people in here and out there to ask questions, and for Mr. Governor to answer. And I believe that the governor will be willing to answer as many questions as possible. May I therefore welcome you all on behalf of the governor of the state of Osun, Ogbeni Aregbeshola, to the 4th edition of Ogbeni to Daybreak. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much. Otto. Oshe. Mafo Kanjua Sikini, my friend. Okari. Can we put our hands together for the commissioner who just left this podium? Mr. Governor, our lineup for this 4th edition of Ogbeni Till Daybreak is to begin with journalists who are here in this auditorium in their numbers, as has been read out to you by the chairman of the NUJ. We will spend some time doing that, and the governor will respond. Then we will come to the audience, who will also ask questions, and Mr. Governor, you will respond. There will be opportunity for those who are not here physically, but would like to interact with us via the phone. You would also answer them, but we will moderate all those. Then there will be questions from online platforms, and the governor will respond. And all things being equal, that should be able to take us to the wee hours of a new day. We will soon get to the journalists who are live in the hall. But Dioye and I, as compares of this, we have two questions, related questions, and we will ask the governor. I will ask in English. Dioye will ask the second part of this question in Yoruba. It's the same related question. Mr. Governor, sir, our question as compared is as follows. In the last 2 or so weeks, you have toured the 9 federal constituencies of our state. In English, you will tell us, why did you undertake the trips or the visitations? And Dioye.
Níbi tí Smollett gbèdé náà lèmi á ti béèrè. Nínú àwọn ìrìn àjò sí àwọn agbègbè ìdìbò ètí ẹ ṣe lẹ́nu lọ́lọ́ yìí, kí ni àwọn ohun tí ẹ fojú sàkàmú gẹ́gẹ́ bí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ ọmọlúwàbí?
Before we get to the audience, so rather, the journalists who are in-house, can we put our hands together for the governor as he gets ready to answer us? Thank you very much.
Will be the gubernatorial election on the 22nd of September this year. That's about 180-something days to today. So we felt we should move around to wake up our members to the need to commence in earnest mobilization of the electorate. One, register in their mind that we are their party, that this is their party. That's number one. Number two is the party of our people. And by our people, I mean the Yorubas. All the other parties are simply pretenders. From their utterances, from their activities, and from even in some cases the opposition role they play, it's clear that they are grossly incompetent and unqualified to govern any reasonable space. And I will get into this later, but you don't take people for granted. If you can't take people for granted, you must ensure you engage the people, particularly on the things that our administration and party have done over the years. There is a new program now running on our television. I'm not sure whether it's running on radio. The title or the name of that program is Bayikola Boshun. Bayikola Baoshun. That is, this is not how Oshun was. Excuse me. This is a serious matter. This, whichever part of Oshun you are in today, there is a clear difference between Oshun of pre-Aregbesola and Oshun of Aregbesola. Very clear. You don't even need to stress yourself to notice it. So, and because we are human, it's very easy to forget that Oshun has moved by the speed of light within the period of our assuming office. And interestingly, most people don't know this. The period we have spent so far is 25 days less than the period the party we succeeded spent to date. We are yet to equal them in the number of days spent in governance. And yet, we have so much surpassed them that whoever was here on November 26, 2010, will not believe is in the same place. So, the movement around the state is simply to register this very clear, unmistakable difference between the impact of our administration during the time we are here, or we have taken over the reign of administration here, and the period spent by our predecessor. And I want to assume the tour was very, very successful. Successful measuring from the response from our party members, measuring from the comments of our traditional rulers who we visited in the course of the movement. So that simply summarizes why that tour was undertaken. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we put our hands together for Mr. Governor? Thank you. Oshe. Now, we come to journalists in-house. We are going to My dear colleagues, we are going to pull our questions together, 4 questions at a go, and then we allow Mr. Governor to answer. May I see your hands up if you are interested in firing a salvo? Yes? What? 1, 2, Tunji Adekoju, I can see you from here. Can we get a second microphone, please? Can we get a second microphone so that they don't have to be traveling down here? Tunji Adekoju, NTA. Yes? I will try as possible to be fair. Don't worry, you don't have to struggle. There is a hand there. That hand, who is it? Number 2. Tunji Adekoju, number 1. That hand, number 2. Is that Wale? Wale, number 3. And that person, the lady there, yes, number 4. 1, 2, 3. A microphone.
Hello.
I know you by the manner I gave you numbers.
Hello.
Please don't attempt to shunt. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Yes, sorry.
You could ask your question from there.
Do I come here? Okay.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Some silence, please. Some silence, please.
Your Excellency, Mr. Governor of the State of Osun, the Deputy Governor, the Deputy Speaker standing in for the Speaker, the Party Chairman, and other distinguished guests, distinguished audience, and traditional rulers, I salute you. Mr. Governor, I want to ask this brief question. There was a day I was listening to a program by a ministry known as Ministry of Innovations, Science and Technology. I got to know, sir, there are so many things being done by this ministry that can make life far more better for the people of Osun State and Nigerians as a whole. I then concluded that this ministry ought to be called as Ministry of Uncommon Sense, because they said that common sense produces common results, whereas uncommon sense produces uncommon results. On this note, sir, I want to submit that much as you are doing in this state, which other states are copying, which governments outside Nigeria are copying, it seems that the media are not portraying all these things about this government in the proper perspective. Sir, may I ask you, are you satisfied with your media coverage? Are you satisfied that much more can be done so that many other things being done in Osun that are being covered by other governments can be given the widest publicity? I thank you very much, sir.
Question number 2. Number 2, and let me say rather, there are many journalists in the house. Don't go beyond one question so that it can go round, and let your submissions be very brief. Thank you.
Moki Ogbeni Rauf Adesoji Aregbesola gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. Àwa kàn fẹ́ dúpẹ́, a dẹ̀ fẹ́ yìn yín, kò sí question tá fẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín. Ìpè gómìnà tó kọ́ jẹ nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun tó kọ́ fún ẹlẹ́sìn ìbílẹ̀ ní ọlùdé tó sì ń sponsor program yẹn, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín sà. Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè á ràn yín lọ́wọ́. Ìyẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ sà. Èkejì ìmọ̀ràn tí mo fẹ́ gbà.
One question.
Èkejì sà, ẹ má bínú sà.
Please identify
ìmọ̀ràn tí mo fẹ́ gbà
yourself.
sà.
Identify yourself.
Thank you. Ìmọ̀ràn tí mo fẹ́ gbà sà ni pé gbogbo àwọn tó ń díje fún gómìnà nínú ẹgbẹ́ wa. Èmi ni Sọládòye Fásánjọ́ láti Fàjì, Ward 4. from Odò local. So gbogbo àwọn tó ń díje nínú ìbò gómìnà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun sà, gbogbo wọn pátápátá àwọn bàbá wa máa ń sọ wípé bákan méjì lèèyàn máa ń bá lọ sógun. Ìsídà kéèyàn wìn kó kẹ́rù tàbí kán kó lẹ́rù. So gbogbo ibi tó lúkálukú bá bára wọn ẹgbẹ́ APC ò gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́ o. Ẹ ṣé gan sà.
Thank you very much. I don't know how you got into the midst of journalists, but then you have succeeded. Thank you very much. When you come, identify yourself, and then please go straight to your question. Number 3, Tribune. Well, we take him as number 2. Mr. Governor, if you don't mind, keep your answer for that question. When we talk to the crowd, you answer us. With all respect, sir, let's hear from the journalist. Yeah.
Mr. Governor, sir, my name is Oluwole Ige. I write for Nigerian Tribune. My question boils down on the recurring issue of Osun debt. Yeah, I said my question boils down on the recurrent issue of Osun's debt. And yeah. Mr. Governor, sir, like I was saying, I said my question boils down on the recurring issue of Osun's debt. And there have been deductions from the federal government, maybe through our SPO, I mean irrevocable standing payment order. I want to find out from you how much in concrete terms have been repaid back regarding this debt, both locally and internationally. That's my question.
Mr. Governor, sir, my name is Wasiu Ajadusu. I report for Radio Nigeria. Sir, I was part of your visit to all the federal constituencies in the state. But there's a strong agitation for West Low Council. I want to know how you intend to manage the agitation, especially when there are other people contesting from other zones in the state. How do you intend to manage the situation? Thank you very much.
Ẹ ṣeun. A dúpẹ́.
Nike, you can start identifying yourself.
I'm Princess Adenike Adeleke. Mr. Governor, I have a question for you. As an articulate and generous governor, the legacy you left behind in Lagos, how are you going to solve the problem of the civil servants in the next 5 months? I mean their salaries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. That is the end of the first. Nike, the paper or the medium you represent? Which is your medium?
The source newspaper.
What? Resource, resource.
Resource.
Resource. Thank you very much.
Resource.